we're live now officially. So as I mentioned, feel free to ask questions. Feel free to answer the poll below the screen. And of course, you will receive this footage after the webinar ends. So I will start with the presentation now. First of all, I want to ask you this. Did you know that there are almost 4 billion active email users in the world? And statistics show that by 2023, literally more than half of the human population will use email. This means that it's very likely that your target audience uses email on a regular basis. And even though this sounds really awesome, you need to take into consideration another thing as well. Between 2014 and 2018, the average office worker received 90 emails a day. So how do you stand out from the crowd? How do you make sure that your email will catch the attention of your customer or subscriber in the sea of emails? This is where our email automation steps in. Lately, we've all been hearing a lot about marketing automation and email drip campaigns, and there's a reason for that. Before I go on to tell you some important things to have in mind, let's first give some basic introduction into email automation for those of you who are new at this. So email automation is a set of processes and technologies that are used in order to send automated, real-time targeted messages to customers. These messages help you build your relationship with the customers, but to also maintain their loyalty and engagement. With email automation, marketers are able to deliver their email messages based on different conditions. For example, you can choose to send your email based on the date and time. Let's say that every Monday morning, your customers will receive a weekly email from you. Another condition is when a certain action is triggered. For example, every time a person subscribes to your email list, they will receive a welcome email. I also want to tell you about this another condition as well, and that is sending an email triggered by rules defined from the workflow. For example, whether you want to send a drip or lead nurturing campaign. So let's talk about the benefits from the email automation. So email automation enables businesses to have a more personalized approach and build stronger and long-lasting relationship with the customers. However, it's important to note that the personalization is so much more than just mentioning your customer's first name in an email. Customers respond better to email personalization because this type of email speaks directly to them. When you do the email the right way, it offers a tailor-made content for the customers that they find very relevant and hence are motivated to take the desired action. Another great benefit of email automation is the ability to segment the audience. Segmented emails are exactly what enables to deliver the great impact to your customers, because this way you're making sure that you're sending the right content at the right time. Let me give you an example of this. For example, you have an online goods store and different groups of people visit your website. For example, you have a group of customers who are interested into buying home decor and another group of customers who are interested into buying pet products. It wouldn't make any sense if you send the same promotional email to all these customers because they don't have the same needs, right? So if you send a promotional email in which you're giving a $10 discount coupon for pet products to all your customer base, then it's very likely that many of your customers will feel like they're not receiving the content that is relevant to their wants and needs. This is really serious because if this happens on a regular basis, you'll start to lose customers. But when you have an email automation tool and a proper strategy, this will be easier to manage and your customers will be motivated to come back and buy from you. Next, with email automation, you're able to sync with the customer purchase profile. So what does this mean exactly? It means that your customers will receive messages that are appropriate in their buying cycle. For example, if your customers already bought the item that they left a few days ago in their shopping cart, then there's no point in sending them reminder email about buying it, right? So this is what we mean that the email automation should sync with your customer purchase cycle. Not only you're sending them the right content, but you're also making sure that you're sending it in the time that it's most convenient for your customers. Next, the brand is built automatically so that the marketers don't spend much time handling all the subscribers that come into your database, but rather they go into a funnel, and then you start making relationships with them automatically. Of course, in the end, the possibility of human error is minimized with this kind of automation in place. So these are the benefits from email automation. Next, we'll talk about how email automation works. First, we have a prospect visiting your website and does a certain action. For example, he signs up for a newsletter. This same prospect is added to the email marketing database that you own. Next thing is that the prospect is added to a segment based on the location, behavior, interest, or any other segment that you decide on. Next is that the marketer creates the campaign and sends the message directly to the segments. Finally, the prospect receives the message based on the condition set up by the marketer. So this is how email automation works. So guess that by now you have a pretty good idea of what email automation is, how does it work, and all the great things that you can achieve by using it. The great thing about email automation tool is that they leave you with plenty of options on creating customized campaigns, and on top of it, you won't necessarily need a tech person to help you build the email, considering that the modern email automation tools have a simple drag and drop toolsets. There are many campaigns with which you can experiment, but for now we're going to stick with these few most converting ones. The first one I want to share is the welcome email. So the average open rate for a welcome email is 50%, making them 86% more effective compared to the regular newsletter. In fact, 74% of the people who subscribe actually expect to receive a welcome email right after they do it. This means that having the right type of welcome email can increase your sales from the moment people subscribe, and here's why. Here's how. By offering an incentive. Yes, welcome emails are a must, especially for brand building, but when your goal is to increase the revenue and you know that statistically these emails have higher open rates and people are expecting them, it's a great way to do this by offering them a discount on their first purchase. So here's an example of this. Knockaround, a popular sunglasses brand from San Diego, offers 15% discount on the first purchase in their welcome email. I would also suggest here to highlight this in the subject line. This way, not only you're motivating your subscribers to open the email to see what's inside, but also to take the desired action. Next, we'll talk about birthday emails. So wishing someone a happy birthday has gone on a whole new level with email automation. Giving your customers and subscribers this extra attention for their birthday can also brighten your day as well, and here's why. Birthday emails can boost conversion rates by 60% compared to regular non-birthday emails that contain the same offer. This is another proof that choosing the right timing is everything, and email automation enables you to do it right. Here's an example of a birthday email sent by the food chain Chipotle. In their email, they're giving a free guacamole and chips to their customer when they make an order for at least $5, and it lasts for the whole birthday month. Similar to the birthday emails, the milestone emails are all about showering your subscribers and customers with attention. Building long-lasting relationship isn't always about giving away discounts and freebies, but also by appreciating your customers for trusting you as a brand and buying from you. Think of this campaign as some sort of anniversary between you and the customers. You can set up a campaign that will be triggered every time when your subscriber reaches 1 year from signing up for your newsletter. Or maybe, for example, you want to acknowledge your most recurring customer. For example, every time when a customer does their 10th purchase, you're going to send an email thanking them for choosing you as a brand. We can take this example by JetBlue over here, in which they celebrated 1 year anniversary with their clients. Next, we have the consumption-based emails. Another way to really engage with your customers is to show them how they progress by using your product or service. Take a look at how Enfluence, a marketing platform, rewards their customers by showing them how they progress. So for example, if you're selling this type of product, it is very likely that your subscribers would be interested in getting emails each week showing their progress. These success metrics work as a great incentive to engage with customers and to serve as a reminder to keep on using the product or service. Next, we have the behavior-triggered email. Let's say we go back to our online goods store, and let's say that there's this person in particular who's browsing around for wall art. They've been checking out a couple of products and added them into favorites. However, even though they've been browsing a lot, they didn't buy anything. I think we can all agree on this. So in order to get them back to your online goods store and motivate them to buy one or more products, you can send them an email in which you're reminding them of these products and you're offering them a discount. Giving your customers an incentive, it is very likely to work, so make sure that you're actually able to provide the right content at the right time. Here's an example of an email by Birchbox. In their email that is based on the purchase history of their customers, they're recommending similar products that they think that their customers might like. So you see, in order to sell something just to boost some sales isn't going to work in the long run. Never forget that one of the main reasons why you need email automation is to actually build trusting and long-lasting relationship with your customers. Next, we have the re-engagement email. So you've been emailing your customers back and forth, but you still notice that the engagement rates are dropping. There's always the possibility to offer discounts, but this tactic will boost your sales and possibly just on the short run. If you notice that your customers aren't engaging with your brand as you wish them to be, it's nice to find a way to engage them in a rather creative way. You see, email automation should also be fun. It opens so many possibilities, and you should try your best to engage with your customers in a way that is more suitable for the brand. Let's take a look at how Grammarly did this by introducing the Wrinkle in Time badge in their email marketing strategy over here. Next, we have the abandoned cart email. This is actually one of the most common challenges that e-commerce marketers are facing these days. Shopping carts abandonment is a term used to describe when shoppers add products to an online shopping cart, but then they leave the website before they actually purchase the item. This is also one of the reasons why e-commerce shop might have low conversion rates. The cart abandonment rate is different for all businesses, and it's depending on your industry and the products that you sell. However, there are campaigns that can help you with this. Here's an example of the British company Dyson, in which they are reminding their customers that they left the vacuum cleaner in their shopping cart, so they are motivating them to come back and finish the purchase. Finally, we have the apology email. Yes, this email is all about apologizing, but here's what I mean by that. In an ideal world, there will be no mistakes, but unfortunately, they happen no matter how hard we try to avoid them. Here's an example for that. A few years back, American retailer Fab sent out an email to their subscribers with test subject line and an unfinished email template. In order to apologize for this inconvenience, they addressed this in their next email, plus offering them a discount to their customers. So this email is really awesome, but I have to warn you here about something. This type of email has to be a genuine reaction of your brand and not a pre-planned strategy. Apology emails can easily grab the attention of the subscribers and brands and use this as an opportunity, but as I mentioned, this mustn't be abused. Brands need to understand that email automation is much more than the sales journey. By focusing your email marketing strategy on increasing customer engagement and building trust, you are able to create seamless and valuable experience, resulting in increasing in customer satisfaction and, most importantly, customer lifetime value. Creating the right content and then sending it at the right time is crucial, but in order for this to happen, you first must pay proper attention to the implementation of your email marketing tool. It must be properly implemented right from the start in order to avoid future complications. As you've already learned by now, email automation is extremely essential in providing the best experience for your customers. You can do plenty with it, but in order to have a successful campaigns, it's not enough to just have a good copy and design. Before all this takes place, you need to make sure that your email automation tool is actually properly implemented. There are many things to consider when implementing such tool, but now I'll just share 4 of the most important ones. The first one being integrating the data within your email service provider with other business systems that you use, such as web analytics or your CRM system. This allows you to actually have a better understanding of who your customers are and how to divide them into segments based on this data. Next, making sure you're importing clean and up-to-date data in your email service provider. This is a very important step because importing a clean data will save you from bounces, will reduce the unsubscribe rates, and most important of all is that it will increase your deliverability scores with email providers. The third one is regular cleansing of your customer data and email lists. Even if your emails list were cleaned prior to importing, it's important to check them on a regular basis to remove every contact that can harm your email reputation. To avoid this, you need to identify these contacts and then to suppress or delete them. Finally, having flows for every possible scenario is something that you want to think before the implementation is done, so that all events and user actions are properly implemented into the email workflow. So setting up your first automation flow may seem scary at first, but however, with time, you start getting better and better, and you'll be able to build even more complex flows and include additional channels beside email as well. There is also the option to get help in building your email campaigns. Here I am. By introducing this to companies such as Elite International. Companies such as Elite International specialize in using the latest technology to help you create a better, more personalized digital experience for your customers. We've worked with many clients in the industry such as news, media, sport, retail, manufacturing, energy, mobile apps, and many more, to build automation funnels and to help them drive more conversions and with personalized email automation. So if you need a hand or want to talk about email automation, please feel free to send me an email or connect with me via LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to answer any question. So thank you so much for hearing me out, hearing all these tips that I had to share. Now we'll move on to answering some of your questions. Honestly, I have received one prior to this webinar, so I would really like to start with it. So the first question was that I received prior to this webinar. What are the key risks for automated email campaigns in their compliance with GDPR? So this question is mostly related to the GDPR policy. So this risk comes if you don't respect the GDPR policy when building your email lists. To avoid such risks, you need to make sure that you properly manage your data and campaigns. So for example, when you're building forms such as signing up for newsletters, make sure to include tick box to obtain user consent for future contacting. Another thing to have in mind is that email automation tools enable you to build privacy policy by design. This means that when you're creating an email template, you will be able to include privacy links, such as the ability to unsubscribe or to manage the preferences as well. Great, so I can see that there are a lot of questions in the chat. So I'll start with this. So how do I know that I'm doing well with my email marketing? What are the benchmark metrics I should be aiming for in terms of clicks, opens, and etc.? So, well, in order to achieve the success, you must follow the best practices for optimizing your email strategies, such as, I don't know, creating segments or sending the relevant content, and all this thanks to the proper data implementation. I also want to make sure to always suggest to test your email campaigns and measure the result. However, when it comes to the benchmark metrics, you should always aim towards having higher certain rates. for example, aim to having at least 24% of open rate, which is anything more than that is really an indication that your campaign is doing better than average. And for the clicks, well, this rate is usually always smaller than the open rate, but of course, aim to have at least 4% click-through rate. So, okay, when should I implement an email automation tool in my company? So this is a really great question. When I think about this question is that I think of companies who are getting a lot of users fast, companies who don't have time or human resources to devote to such activities to lead nurturing, or when companies aim to enter different segments of the market. So they need to have a powerful tool on their side to make sure the audience is getting the right content at the right time whenever they are. I think I answered the GDPR question. So thank you so much for joining us today. I was really happy to share this info with all of you. I also hope that you found insightful the things that I mentioned in the presentation. Please feel free to ask questions and to reach out even after the webinar. And as I mentioned, you will receive the footage right after in the following days. So thank you once again, and we'll see you on the next webinar. Bye.